of vodka Pune for Cypress Workshop. So as all of you know, vodka is value-oriented discussion about quality analysis and a forum that supports the motto, come learn something new. We started this back in 2009 or 10 in Pune, and now we have a community across a different location and different offices in India. Like I said, this is a community by the community and for the community. So you all have to remember few of the things here. Don't unmute yourself until we ask to, and ask questions whenever you get it in the chat room, and we will try to answer them themselves only. So I would like to welcome Mukul Maheshwari, who is going to help us deep diving through a Cypress workshop. Yeah, with you, Mukul. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Devyani. So let me start with my introduction. I'm Mukul Maheshwari. I have almost 6 years of experience as a QA. And so welcome to today's workshop. Today's workshop is, so let me share my screen first. So welcome to today's workshop. Today's workshop is on, can you all see can you see my screen, Devyani?
Yes.
So today's workshop is on a very interesting and trending end-to-end automation testing tool called Cypress. Let's set some expectations first. So we are targeting audience who have no knowledge or basic knowledge of Cypress. So we'll be touching upon some basic to intermediate topics of Cypress. So this is the second expectation, that your setup should be ready. So we did send some emails regarding the setup. Hope you went through them. At the end of session, you will learn what is Cypress and its advantages over other tools, architecture of Cypress, project structure of Cypress, writing basic code in Cypress. This will be a hands-on session. Then we'll modify the same code to framework using POM, that is page object model, data-driven approach, and object mapping for locators. This will again be a hands-on session. And then we will discuss about some advanced topics on Cypress like API testing, CI/CD, plugins, and reporting. Now let's start with the introduction of Cypress. It is developed by an Atlanta-based company named Cypress. Cypress is an end-to-end testing tool built for the modern web applications. So when we say modern web applications, so these days, as you know, that websites are very, very dynamic in nature and are heavily dependent on APIs. So while waiting for APIs, these days websites use some loaders and animations just to keep user involved. So there is a high possibility that your code and your application under test may not be in sync, and hence you may get false failures. So this is where Cypress comes. Uh, with its features and its architecture, it helps us to write code which is faster and reliable. So no more flakiness. It is built on top of Node.js. So Node.js, as you know, it's a JavaScript runtime environment, and hence it uses JavaScript as the scripting language. It is freemium and open source. So when we say freemium, it's the business model of Cypress, that while most of its features are free to use, there is just one feature called dashboard, which is actually paid version. All right, now let's discuss about the architecture of Cypress. So here I'm comparing Selenium architecture to that of Cypress architecture. So the biggest difference between Selenium architecture and Cypress architecture is that in Selenium your tests run outside the browser, while in Cypress your tests run inside the browser itself. So let's see a bit in detail. So whenever you run your Selenium test, so your code first interacts with your browser driver via JSON request, and the facilitator over here is JSON wire protocol, and then your request reaches to your actual browser through JSON request itself, and then in the same manner you get a response from your browser after action is done over there. So in short, your tests are running outside the browser, and the interaction is happening through JSON request. Well, Cypress architecture is completely different. So whenever you run your Cypress test, your your request reaches your Node.js process, and it opens your browser with a proxy, and side by side it also injects all your code into your browser window within an iframe. So this is the iframe, and when your test starts executing, your application under test also opens in within the same browser window within a different iframe. So in short, your test and your application under test is running on the same browser window. That is, your tests are running inside the browser. And side by side, your tests are also connected via WebSocket to a Node.js process. So we have connected it so just in so that it can monitor all your network requests. So just in case you have written some test which requires higher privilege like API test, so that can also be tested. So this is the architecture of Cypress, and you have access to both front end as well as back end of the application. So that's why we call it an end-to-end automation testing tool. All right. So coming to about Cypress. So Cypress has a feature of automatic waiting and actionability waiting. So when we say automatic waiting, so it waits for your web element to appear on DOM, and also it waits for the actionability of your web element. So just in case so just in case your web element is animating or say it's disabled, so it will automatically wait for that element to be enabled. So there is a link where you can read more about the actionability. Now next is the very interesting feature of Cypress, that is time travel. So whenever you run your test, after running your test, you can just hover over the commands to see what exactly happened at each step. So you can watch in the GIF that I'm just hovering over the commands and it's showing me that what exactly happened at each step. It is very fast since your tests are running inside the browser, hence your hence your test run very fast. You can perform API testing also with the help of Cypress. So it supports almost all major browsers like Chrome, Edge, and Firefox. So you can visit this link and you can see that what all browsers are supported by Cypress as of now. It uses Mocha for test runner. So Mocha, as you know, it's a JavaScript unit testing framework. Since Cypress is on JavaScript, hence it uses Mocha as the test runner. For assertions, it has some built-in assertions, and also it uses child library for assertions. Coming to next point, it natively uses CSS selectors. So Cypress natively uses CSS selectors, but there are some plugins by which you can use XPath also. But in this workshop, we will be working mostly with CSS selectors. It has a very rich documentation, so you can visit its website and you can see that how great documentation Cypress people have given to us. All right, coming to the next point, installation. Cypress is packaged as an NPM module, hence gives easy installation. So NPM stands for Node Package Manager. So as its name suggests, Node Package Manager is used to manage the packages, manage the packages of JavaScript. So the biggest advantage of NPM is that whenever you run that you can install your package as in using just one line. Say npm install Cypress save and dev. So whenever you run this command, your package will be installed and it will also saved as a dependency in your package.json file. So we will discuss more about package.json during our hands-on session. Cypress is an all-in-one testing framework. So when we say all-in-one testing framework, so before Cypress, you have to choose a framework like Mocha, Jasmine, or Karma, and then you have to separately choose a library, say Chai or Expect.js, and then you have to install packages separately. But with Cypress, it's an all-in-one testing framework with all assertion library, and you don't have to install anything separately. It's an all-in-one testing framework. All right. Coming to the project structure of Cypress. So over here, I'll show you the project structure. So once you install Cypress, there are four major folders that you get. One is the fixture. So this is where you keep all your test cases. So for example, Cypress people has given you an example that it's a JSON file that they have kept. You can also use CSV file or text file. Next is the integration folder. So this is the folder where you will keep all your test cases. Next is the plugins folder. So as they have given, it's like your pre-requirement. You keep all your prereqs over here. So just in case before launching your browser, you want to install any extension. So you can keep your code over here. Next is the support folder. So in this folder, you can write your custom commands, and also you can override the existing commands of Cypress just in case you want. Next is the index.js. So index.js is just like your listeners. So it keeps on listening to your application, and once the event triggers, this code starts executing. All right. Any questions still here?
There are few questions in the chat window, Mukul, if you want to go through them. Like a few are not answered yet.
Okay. Let me go to the chat window.
Yeah, let me read out those questions for you. Uh,
Mhm.
what is the advantage of Cypress architecture over Selenium?
Yeah, so the biggest advantage of Cypress over Selenium is that since your tests are running inside the browser, it gives you a high speed, and also it keeps on monitoring your network request also. So it gives you an advantage of high speed. So your application runs as fast as your application can render. There are no network lag requests.
Okay, and there is one more question which is not answered. How Cypress weight is different from implicit weight?
All right, it's a very, very interesting and good question. So yeah, uh, so so the difference between Cypress weight and implicit weight is that in implicit weight, in implicit weight, it only checks for the presence of element over DOM. But in Cypress, it also checks for the actionability. So if I'll show you that before interacting with any of the web element, Cypress also verifies that element is not hidden, element is not detached, element is not disabled, and also if element is covered, it waits for the element to appear uh, rightfully or correctly over the DOM. And also the biggest difference is that in implicit wait, it appears for the whole instance of the driver, but Cypress wait you can configure for a particular web element also. For example, I'll show you. So for example, you have cy.get and you want its timeout to be only 2 seconds instead of the default 4 seconds. So you can configure that also. So just in case you are doing some negative testing, you won't have to wait for complete 6 seconds. You can make it 2 seconds for a particular web element also, which is this feature is not present in implicit wait. Hope I hope I have cleared your doubt.
Yes, Mukul. So we can go ahead, I guess.
So yeah, let's start with the hands-on session. So before we move on to hands-on session, and I want all of you to please copy and paste this command in your cypress.json file. I'm sending it over Zoom chat. Just give me a moment. All right. So now I request all of you to please open your editor. Let me close the extra tabs. Just give me a moment. to open your editor and just paste that command in your cypress.json file. And then press a command npx cypress open. Please don't press enter right now. Let me first tell you what exactly is this command. So npx cypress open. So npx stands for node package executor. It's the node package executor. So what's the advantage of this command? It's used to run your package. And once you open your package.json file, you can see that you have a package named Cypress inside your package.json file. So we are executing this Cypress package and the mode of execution is open. So using npm, yeah, that is a node package module, we can install the packages, and using npx we can execute the packages. Now I request all of you that after entering npx cypress open in your terminal, just make sure that you are on this browser location, this location of your cd, and then press enter. If anyone is facing any problem, please feel free to write on chat. So yeah, this is called Cypress test runner window. So here it shows all of your tests that you have written. So you can expand examples, and you can also see these are the default example given by Cypress. And over from here you can select any of the browser. So since I have Edge and Chrome in my system, it's showing me Edge and Chrome, and it's also showing Electron, which is the default browser which comes with the Cypress. If you will go to your settings folder and expand the configurations, you can see it has some default configurations. So the main command over here is default command timeout. And also there are some many other commands which we will talk about later. So it has a video also, just in case you are running in headless mode, it will create your video. You can make it false. It has a default screenshot folder. So just to give you a context, I'll go in over here and I will make default command timeout. Just press default command timeout and it will automatically show you. I'll send it in Zoom chat.
Mukul, there is one request, I guess. We will just go a little bit slow, maybe.
Okay. Sorry about being fast.
No, no problem. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'll go again. Go to your terminal and press and enter command npx cypress open. So npx stands for node package executor. Cypress is your package name and open is the mode in which we are running your Cypress. So once you enter this command, your window will open. This is called as Cypress test runner window. And in this window, it will show all of the test cases that you have in your integration folder. Say for example, as of now, you might have written google.js. So it's showing you google.js as your test case. If you will go click on this tab, that is settings tab, and expand the configuration file, you can see that all the default configurations that Cypress comes up with. Say for example, default command timeout. So default command timeout is the command for which Cypress automatically waits for the element to appear on the DOM and also waits for its actionability. Apart from that, there are many default configurations also, like video. So whenever you run your test cases in headless mode, Cypress takes a video of it. So just to avoid heaviness of your project, you can make it false also. and your screenshots folder. This is the folder where your screenshots will be saved. So you can change that also. So Cypress gives you the ability to override all these commands, all these default configurations. So to give you a demo, I'll go to my cypress.json file. You can find this file over here, cypress.json. And whenever you will enter anything like you want to say you want to override default command timeout, just enter default command timeout, and it will come up with the default configuration of 4 seconds. Say I want to make it 6 seconds instead of 4 seconds. So I will just remove 4 and I will enter 6, and then again I can save it. So you don't need to run it again. Once you will go to your Cypress runner window, you can see that your config has been overridden. I will take a pause over here so that you all can try. All right. So let's go ahead. So since it's appearing blue color, so it means that I've overridden it. Now I'll go to my test tab. If you want, you can contract this expand example folder, and I'll click on google.js. So you don't need to do anything. You just have to click on google.js. So it will open your website, Google. And since we have added an assertion, so we will talk about it later. I just want to give you a gist of the Cypress. So this is your test that you have written on your website, that you have written in your editor. So this is one window iframe in which your tests are running. And this is another iframe in your same browser window in which your application under test is running. So as we discuss in the architecture, that your test and your application under test run on the same browser window. Hence your test run very, very fast. If I'll refresh and I'll show you the speed. So yeah, it runs very, very fast. Similarly, you can run in any other browser also, say Chrome. All right. So any questions still here?
I think we are good, Mukul. Most of the questions are answered in chat.
Okay.
I don't see
Thanks.
another.
Yeah, thanks everyone. So let's come up. So let's start with the use case now. So before use case, I just want to test because in morning I was facing some issue in this website. So just bear with me for a few seconds. I'm just verifying whether this website is working or not, or else we will switch to some other website. So yeah, we are facing some issue in this website. So no worries, we have another website. No problem. So we have a website called computer database. I'll send this website to you over group chat. Yeah, so you have to visit this website, and then you have to click on add a new computer. You can see this button over here, green color button. You have to add, and then you have to give a computer name. So for now you can give your own name. You have to enter a date over here. You can enter any date, and then you have to choose a company. So you can choose any of the drop down value. I'm choosing RCA, and then you have to click on this button, create this computer. And yeah, you will get a uh, this message that done computer, this has been created. And then we will come up with a second test case that you have to search for a computer. Say you can name it Columbia, and then you have to click on filter by name, and then you have to verify whether this computer name is appearing or not. So hope use case is clear to all of you. So all right, now request all of you to please concentrate over here. So I'll write the steps. So let me just remove all this. Yeah. So the first thing that we will whenever we get a test case, use case, and we have to automate it, the first thing that we do is that we create a test suite. So you can relate it with Java. When we start writing tests, we create a test suite, and then we add test cases inside it. So similar thing we will do over here also. We will start with the describe uh, describe thing. So to give you more clarity of it over it, I have shared a cheat sheet with all of you. So you can go through that cheat sheet, and you can get that what exactly is describe. So describe, it's a group and label test, manage context and hook. So in Java, so people who are from Java background, Java plus Selenium background, you can relate that describe is just like a test suite in JavaScript. And this describe comes from Mocha. So if you will hover over here, you can see that it's coming from Mocha suite function. So you can give a name to your give a name to your test suite. So I'll name it as computer database testing. And then after giving a name to your test suite, you can write a callback function. So this is your suite name, and this is a callback function. So for now, callback function, you can imagine that it describes the validity of this test suite. All right. And inside this, you can add test cases of test cases. So for in JavaScript, or you can say Mocha. Mocha is actually JavaScript unit testing framework, which is used to manage your test cases. You can add test cases. So you can write your test case as add computer. And again, in the similar way, you have to give a name to your test case as we gave name to the test suite. And then again, you have to write a callback function. So again, callback function similar to test suite. It defines the scope or validity of this test case. So our first thing is that we have to visit website this. So yeah, let me just copy this website, and I can write cy.visit. Now, what is cy.visit? If you will again, you will go to cheat sheet. Uh, you can see it's the browser command which is used to visit a URL. So cy.visit, it opens the URL, it's open your browser, and also it visits the URL. And this cy, it's a global command which is used to invoke Cypress command, uh, which is used to invoke the Cypress commands. So you don't need to create anything for it. It automatically is invoked. And for cy.visit, you can refer the cheat sheet, but still I will write in very short. So the next thing we need to do is we need to add a new computer. So we need to go to this website and we need to click on this button, add new computer. So I need to take a locator of this. So I have an ID for it over here. So I can use ID. Since we use CSS selector over here, so I will be using CSS wildcard. So don't worry if you don't know, if you are not much familiar with CSS, I'll give you a short description, a basic description of CSS also. So I've taken some notes, a quick note. I will send it over chat. So CSS syntax is very similar to that of XPath, but there is some difference. So the syntax of CSS is tag name. You have to give a square bracket, and attribute is equal to value, where tag name is optional field. So to traverse from parent to child, we use this. Instead of slash, we have this greater than sign. For example, if we want to traverse from table to table row, you have to write it this way. So I've sent the notes over here. You can just visit over here if you. And there are some wildcards with CSS use. For example, for class we have dot. Similarly, for ID we use hash. And to check your CSS is working fine or not in Chrome, you have to go to console and type $2, and then you can write your CSS. And when you press enter, you will get a match. And in case your CSS is wrong or there is no element which is matching, you will get not get anything. So I'll show you. So I went to this website. I just right click and clicked on inspect. So I'm getting an ID. So we should always prefer an ID. And then in my console, I will enter $2, and then I will enter uh, /add. This is my CSS. I'm using wildcards. And once I will click enter, I'm getting that yes, there is a match and I can use this CSS. So any questions over here? I got some error. Yeah. And then I need to click on this button. So I will use something crashed. Yeah. So I need to click on this button. So I will click. I will enter click. So again, you can refer your cheat sheet to see the functionality of click. If you will see the actions command, there is a click which clicks on an element. So next thing I need to do is I have to type a name for computer name. So you can visit website. Once I click on this, I get this type box. Yeah, I have an ID for over here also. So this time directly I will enter the ID. Now this will give me the web element, and then using the type command, I can type in this web element. So I'll recommend you to please refer cheat sheet if you are not familiar with the commands. So yeah, type type the foo bar into an element. So next thing is that I have to enter a date in YYMMDD format in the introduce section. Again, I will go in the introduce section. I'll just right click. I'll inspect. So yeah, again I have an ID for over here. cy.get hashtag, and then I have to type a date. And next thing is that I have to select a value from this drop down. So since it's a select drop down, I can easily do it. So yeah, if you will refer your cheat sheet, there is a command select. Yeah, using dot select, you can select option from a drop down value, and you can directly pass the name, and Cypress will automatically find that name. By name I meant label. So you just have to send RCA, and Cypress will do rest of the things for you. So yeah, you can use cy.get. For select, I had the ID hash company, and then I will directly use select, and I will pass RCA. And in the end, I have to click on this button, create this computer. So over here, I don't have ID, but yeah, I have a value. So I'll use CSS, cy.get value is equal to dot click. Then after clicking, I have to verify this message. So for this message, yeah. So for this message, I have a class. I can use the class. And then I have to assert that whether it contains the success message or not. To verify the text whether it contains required message or not, I will use assertion. I will tell you what this command is all about, and I have to assert whether it contains done or not. So again, if you will go to cheat sheet, so there they have written that these are the common assertions. So as of now, I'm using should as the assertion, and then inside I have various things like have.class, it checks for class, have.css, be visible, exist, have.len, but I'm using over here includes.text. So if you will, once you write should, and you can verify all the assertions by in the IntelliSense. So if you will type, so it will show you all the assertions that it has that include dot text. So I'm just verifying that whether the text that appearing on the screen, it includes the done or not. So our first test case is complete. So let's just quickly run it. So again to run, I'll just clear my console once, and I'll again open npx Cypress open. If you want, you can delete this example folder also, but for now I'm not doing. So yeah, my test runner window opened, and I'll click on it. All right, tests are loading. Yeah, so it ran very fast. So that's why Cypress has given us a feature of time traveling. I'll just expand my window. So yeah, first it opened my website. Then it clicked on add. So it's showing me that yeah, it found this web element. Then it's also showing that how it clicked over here. Then it's showing that after clicking new URL opened, and it's showing that name. It's also saying that it how it typed inside it. So you can see over my laptop that is showing before and after. So before there was nothing, and after it entered the name. Then again in the similar way it entered the date. Then it entered the RCA, a drop down. Then it clicked on this button, and then it again new URL opened, and yeah, my assertion passed. So any questions still here?
So, Mukul, I see one question which is related to, they're saying that if we get some time and if you could help them understand how enterprise level Cypress framework do's and don'ts, common practices,
Yeah.
something on that front.
For actually framework level, we will have a session. I mean, after this, I'm giving a basic understanding of Cypress, and then we will move to POM framework also.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we are good to move then.
Okay.
Uh,
Now,
Mukul, one question. So we are not mentioned that we are using CSS selector, right? We can. So why we are using? I mean, we are not mentioned anywhere. So how do we know that we are giving CSS selectors here?
actually, Cypress natively uses CSS selectors only. So that's why I gave I mean, I gave this understanding of CSS selectors also. So do you want me to spend more time in
No, 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 no,
CSS?
no, no. My question was, if we write XPath, how do we know that we are not using? So can we use XPath also here? And
Yeah, there is a plugin by which you can use XPath also, but
uh,
Cypress recommends to use CSS only.
by default. Okay, fine.
Yeah,
Fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
So now, now we will move to our second test case where you need to, yeah, where you need to enter Colombia in this box. So yeah, I have an ID for it. I name my test case as search Colombia and verify. So I have an ID for it. I'll use the ID and I enter type Colombia. Then I have to click on this button, filter by name. So again, I have an ID for it. cy.get ID, and you can click. And then after entering, I have to click on this button and I will get the results. So to get the results, I will find its locator. So I have a table. Inside table, I have a T body, then TR, then TD, and /A. So yeah, we have to traverse over here. So over here, I'm traversing from table. I'm reaching T body, then TR/then TD/A. So from here, there is an issue that just in case I'm making my two tests dependent on each other. Just imagine a situation that someone asks you that you have to run only test case 2. So what happened then, since your test case 1 won't be running, so your test case 2 will fail because over here you are not visiting your website. So cy.visit is inside one test case, and it's always recommended never to make one test dependent on other test case. So from here we will discuss about the concept of hooks. So if you will again refer your cheat sheet, you can find a hook. So there is a function, there is a block called before that runs before all tests in context/describe. And there is a thing called before each. So before each is just like your before method in test-ng. So for over here, we have to use hook before because we need to run this website just once before, just one before the our test suite. I mean, once our test suite run, we have to run it. So instead of before each, we will use before. I will again, it has the same syntax. I'll name it as visit website. and I'll again give a callback function and I'll paste it over here. All right, so I'll run my test case. Oh, looks like I didn't save my project. So before running, please always remember to save your project. So yeah, my test case has passed. So it's showing me before all. So I'll write it for you. So just for understanding purpose, I'm writing it for you that before is like your before test, end of test ng, and before each is like before method of test ng. So now you can start working on assignment. So you have to code. So we'll give you 15 minutes, and you have to now code the same use case. And to terminate your terminal, you just click on this terminal and press Control C. So any questions over here, or we are good to start
Yeah,
with it?
we have few questions, Mukul. So maybe we can take it now.
Yeah,
Yeah. So one is how to handle dynamic web tables. It's a question.
yeah. So it's a good question. All right. So actually, it's need more explanation. So I'll just give you a brief. So dynamic web tables. So actually, we don't have any list or array list concept over here, but as a workaround, Cypress has given an each function. So yeah, for example, you have a table, and in that table, you have to verify, say, node. You have to traverse through it. So for the thing you will do it that you go cy.get, and then after it you press you can use each. So each gives you a list, and inside that you can use el comma index comma list. So a brief explanation about it. So your table has n number of rows, and so right now we are just imagine that we have to just traverse one row and all the columns of it. So el gives so when you traverse it, el gives you all the elements that are matching with this column. Say for example we have three columns, and then you can traverse using yeah, and then you can traverse it. Say for example you need to verify that if your column, any of the column contains your name. So if you can put a condition, if el dot text is equal to, since it's a jQuery I'm using over inside this block, hence I'm using triple equal to. So if el dot contains text is equal to this, and then you can click on it. Or if you don't want to use it, you can use Cypress command, Cypress click also, cy.get, again the same locator of table, dot eq index dot click. So index is the matching node. So once your text will match, this index will, you can use this index. Hope this explanation was fine.
Yeah. I mean, whoever added the question, please let us know if this answered. For
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
maybe we
Please,
will move ahead.
yeah,
Yes.
please give feedback if it was helpful or you got the
Yeah.
context.
Yeah. So Mukul, we will continue, I guess.
Yeah. So we can go ahead with
Uh,
the
sorry,
hands-on part.
sorry, 1 second. One question is there on the index, I guess. Can we traverse using index, like jumping to a required index or so?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can traverse also using index. So just in case you are sure that your element is always the last element, so you can directly move to index also. You can just use cy.get, and you can give your locator directly. You can use eq index dot click. So this will also work. Sorry, it will be index -1. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
So yeah, we have a, now you can start working on the hands-on. I'll keep my screen shared. So use case, just for your understanding, use case is simple that you have to enter your name over here and then you have to verify.
Mukul, can you just increase the waving size of code? Maybe just increase the font. So,
Yeah, actually, I'm finding it. Where is the option? Can you please help me with that? Okay, thanks. Command plus. Is it fine now?
sorry, just close the terminal below.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Sure, sure, sure.
People just do call out if you are facing any problem. We will assign some volunteer to it.
Mukul, we are not able to hear you. I'm not sure if you are on mute.
Yeah, actually, I was on mute. Uh, so, folks, if you just in case you need any help, so please do call out in the in the chat, and someone from volunteer will help you. And in case you have any question, please do write it on Zoom chat. And once you are done with the assignment, please let us know so we can continue further with our exercise. So our next assignment will be page object model. We will modify this code into POM, and we will use fixtures.
Mukul, would you like to brief one more time about the steps they need to do, and also go through the questions if any posted in the chat?
Yeah. So again, I'll brief. Firstly, you have to create a describe block. So this is just like your test suite. And then inside you have to create an before. So your before is called as a hook in JavaScript. But in case of Selenium with Java, you can call it as it's like a before test. So this block will execute before any of your test will run. Test case will run. And then we have created a test case called add computer, in which we are just clicking on the add button. Then we are writing a name and we are typing a name. Then we are typing a date in YYYMMDD format. Then we are selecting a drop down using select command. And then we are just getting this clicking on the button, which will create. And then we are verifying that whether we are getting the correct message or not. That is the message that we are getting, it contains done or not. And then in the second test case, we are just searching a value called Columbia, and we are verifying that whether on searching we are getting the correct value or not. So in case you are uh, in case you need any helps with the command, I can just share you link over chat also, so you can quickly go through the commands. So yeah,
Yeah.
there are some folks who are done with the.
Yeah. So, Mukul, in between, maybe we can take this question in the chat. So they're asking, instead of using CSS class as CSS, can we use some different syntax? Maybe if you can just look at that question.
Yeah, so I'll look at the question. Okay, I'm going through the question.
Yeah, I have pinged you. Yeah.
Can we use CY.get and it should include tests instead of using CS class as CSS? So yeah, for that actually you have to use two dots. Yeah, that you can use wildcard also. So it was include text. Okay. Yeah, so I think it was this one. No, not this one.
It was the alert message.
Okay, I got it. So yeah, this was this one. So if you look, it has two classes over here, and you can just copy it. In case you want to use wildcard, go to your console and just enter it. Use two dots. So one before this alert message and one after this alert message, since it's a combination of two classes. So one there is a space between, so that's why it's a combination of two classes. So you can use CSS this way. I'll ping it on the Zoom chat.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I pinged.
Yeah. Maybe we can just keep this code open. I guess I saw the response from the person on the chat.
Yeah. Okay.
Anand, are you still facing the issue? Um, Maybe you can just
No,
try.
right now. Yeah.
Okay.
So some folks are done. So we'll wait for 5 minutes more, and then we can start. So is that fine, Devyani?
Yeah, that should be okay. So people, can you raise hands if you have completely done the code, so that we will get to know how many are still left. And accordingly, we can time box it.
There are some people who have raised hand.
Yeah, yeah.
Phone part first time.
Yeah, people are raising hands.
Anand, still you are getting the issue, or do you need any help?
Yeah.
It's working now.
Right.
So, Mukul, maybe we can wait for another 3 minutes and then we will just move ahead considering time crunch here.
Yeah, yeah. So let's wait for some more time.
So if we use this double dot in the class notation on the second test case, can we just how to traverse to the specific element? So it will be cy.get
Okay,
and
so
then
yeah, I
say
got your
dot
question.
computers dot zebra
So
striped.
Mukul, your screen is frozen.
Mukul, are you saying something? Because we are not able to hear you.
Probably some network issue because he's not on mute, but just dropped off right now. Probably he'll join back.
add TR or something, anything like that. TR and TD.
Okay. So Mukul, hello.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
audible.
So I see another question added by Karthik. He's asking, would like to know if we have 3 rows in the list and I search using the introduced column value. Once I found that, need to click on respective computer name. So something which he's trying to ask.
Okay. Between if I add computer by my name, it won't appear DB side. So could you, I mean, could you please paste the question? Actually, I dropped in between, so I'm not able to see that question.
Yeah, yeah, I'll just paste it.
No, if I
Yeah.
have 3 rows in the list and search using introduce column value once. Yeah, so actually, you can use the concept of dynamic web table over there. So you can use this function each. Say for example, you have 3 values. So cy.get and you can search using name and then you can add each. Again, you have to write a function which will contain your EL index, and then your list. And then you can add this condition if el dot text is equal to your name, say required computer name. So you can, and then you can click. So Karthik, did it answer your question?
No, no, I'm not searching with the computer name. I'm searching with some other column name. I don't know the I know the introduced date. I search with that, but once I find it, I go back, traverse back, and click on the computer name of that particular row.
All right, got it. So over here you have to just play around with the locators. So for example, using the column name, you are finding something, say column td nth child 2. So you say, for example, using column 2 you are searching for something and your computer name, and then you have to click on the another column. So for that you have to just play around with the locators. Then you can tr and then td. Over here you have to give the locator as nth child 3. I'm just assuming that you have to click on the third column. So you can just play around with the locators and you can click, and then you can return false over here. So return false is just like your break.
Okay.
So for now, I hope that answered, Karthik. So for now, maybe Mukul, we will just go ahead and continue with the next things. I see a lot of people raise their hands, and the questions maybe will take some time later.
Yeah, so interest of time we should
Yeah.
continue ahead. So all right, let's continue. So this is the question I would like to ask. So what all limitations did you see in the code? From maintainability perspective, there are many limitations. So I'm looking at the chat window. So just to make session interactive, can some please answering. So for example, I'll give you that locators are hard coded. Yes, correct. I'm seeing the answer. Hard coding values, hard coding locators, code reusability is not there. Yeah, awesome answers. So yeah, so now we will modify our this code to fixtures. We is using fixtures, and then we will create a framework using POM and locator. For locators, we will use object mapping, and we will also create a class. So like in Java, we have an action class to perform all the reusable actions. So we will also create an action class over here. So let's first discuss about fixtures. So as we discussed in the starting of the session that we fixture contains all our test data. So let's tackle the problem one by one. First, let's discuss about fixture. So I'll create two fixture file, not two. Let's create a fixture file which will contain all our data, computer data. Just give me a moment. So if you will, yeah, if you will go to your code, you will see that we have some test data like name, date, and then the drop down value that we need to select, and also the message. So from maintainability perspective, say for example, going forward, your date, your names will change. So it will be really problematic. So we'll create a fixture file for that. We will call it computer name. So for JavaScript files, you always use this convention that it should have smaller case with underscore between it. But for variable name, you can use this convention of camel case. I'll give computer name as Maheshwari. Next thing that I've hard coded in my data is the date. So I'll enter date as please keep on saving your code. And next is the company. So over here I'll rename it as company. RCA. And let's not hard code this message also, imagining that going forward this message may change anytime. And then we also in the second test case we have Colombia, which is our search name value. And then we can use this you can use the same thing over here, so no need to create anything for that. So there are two ways to read a fixture file from your system. One is that you can use cy.fixture. I'm writing only for representational purposes over here. So one is cy.fixture. Again, you have to give your fixture file name, say it as .json, and then you have to give a function. But the problem over there is that for both of the test case, you will have to read this fixture file separately. So just imagine a situation that you will do same cy.fixture over here also and cy.fixture over here also. So for that, to mitigate that problem, we will use the JavaScript way of reading the fixture file instead of using the Cypress way. But for just for a heads up, I told you that method also. So you can use const computer data is equal to require, and then you have to just give this semicolon, then press 2 dot, and it will start showing you the path. Once you will click 2 dot and slash, it will show that these two folders are present over here, but we need to go to fixture folder. So again we will go 2 steps back, press slash, and then we can see the fixture folder over here, then fixture, and then again slash. The file that we that we want to read is computer data.json. So we will use this file. But just in case that there is a file that you need to just use in just one of your test cases, then you should always use cy.fixture method. So I'll just give you syntax of that also. cy.fixture, your file name example.json, and then you have to put a comma, sorry, not then, you have to write then a function, callback function, and this callback function will return your data. And you have to define the scope of this data. So since you have put your braces from here till there, so the scope of this data will be within this test case only. Now let's modify our code so that we can use non-hard coded data. So we will also unhard code over this website also. For that we will discuss in after doing this. Computer data dot computer name. Now we have to write computer data dot date. Now for RCA computer data dot I think we had oh RCA company नहीं लिखा. Okay, we have company. Yeah, dot company. And then for this we will write computer data dot message. Computer data dot search value. Again over for here also computer data dot search value. So in this way we remove the hard coding of test data from our code. Now the second thing is that we have hard coded this URL also. So for that, as we told, we have a config file which will contain all your config. So you have to go to your config file, and then once you click on environment, it will show you the syntax of environment. Over here, you can put your URL. You can just cut and paste this URL. And keep on saving over it. Now you have to use this URL inside your cy.visit. So for that, you have to put cypress.env, and then you have to pass the URL. So cypress.env is actually when we use cy, it's a Cypress global command, and when we use Cypress, it's a global command for reading the data from config file. And since the name inside cypress.json is env, so
Mukul, you need to use comma in the third line.
okay, sorry. Okay, sorry. Yeah, thanks. So since you have named it as env, hence we have used cypress.env. and we pass the URL. Just in case you have some more URL, and you can put it this way, like test environment, and you can use www.google.com. I'm saying just it for representational purpose only. Now let's run this command. So till now we were running our command using our code using. So before going to page object model, I will also give you a heads up of how to run your command using using terminal only. I mean using command line and using command line. So till now we were running our code in open mode. So just imagine that you have to use it in CI/CD. So over there, it won't be recommended to use this interface. So for that, you have to use npx cypress run minus. Yeah, okay. I'll show you from where I'm coming from. Command line execution. I'll paste this in chat. So for that, we have various we have various options like browser. You can choose any browser from here, and then environment. You can choose specify the environment. Then you can use headed or headless mode, and also there are various commands also which you can use. For example, spec file. If you want to run only a specific spec file, so you can do that also. So I want to run my code in headless mode. So for that, I will use npx cypress run. I have to use headless, and I can also specify the my browser using -b, say Chrome, and say yeah. Since I have just one spec file, so I can run only one spec file. I'll paste. I'll give this command to you folks, and once you run your test cases will run in headless mode. So it's taking time. So yeah, my run has started. So yeah, started. All right. It started the examples also. So I can specify my spec file also. So yeah, it has started running. My test has started passing. So as I told you that while running on headless mode, it takes the video, automatic video. So it has started taking videos also. So now it's running my last google.js. Since I have given this folder, so yeah, all my specs have passed. And once it has passed, I can see the video folder. So it has taken automatic video of all the specs that have run. And in case any of the spec would have failed, it would have taken an automatic snapshot also. So any questions over here? I can see some questions.
Yeah. We see some questions on priority of test cases. Shall we go through it now?
Yeah, so yeah, we can go. So actually there is no priority as such in your this one JavaScript. So it will run in the sequence. So for example, by default you can see that this is the priority. This is priority 1, this is priority 2.
Okay.
All right. So the next thing that is not good in our project was that we have hard coded all the locators and there is no reusable function. For that we will go to this folder. We will create a new sorry, not file. We will create a new folder and we'll name this folder as pages. And inside this pages, we will keep all our pages which our application has. So our first page is, you can say, let me go to the page and see. So our first page is, we can name it as landing page. Landing page dot JS. Now let's start working on it. So first we will give locators. So for that you have to write it this way: const locators is equal to, this is an array, and inside this array we will keep some objects of our locator. So I'll keep on copying from over here. So let's call it as add button. Since we are using CSS for it, we will name it as CSS. We'll map it using CSS. Now again we have name for the uh, okay. So this is not our landing page, this is our add page. Let's call it call it as add page. Similarly, const locators is equal to name. Next is our introduced. Next is company. After that we have create. And after that we have a message. Now since we are done with the locators, so let's write business function for it. So on from landing page we have to just click on the add button. So we'll name it as click add button. And over here we have to just click on this add button. So we will create a function. Now we will create a function which will have all our usable methods. Let's name it as uh, let's first create a folder, and in that folder we will create a file. Let's name it as page helper.js. Inside this you can create a function. First is to get web element. We will pass a locator over here.
Sorry, Mukul, 1 second.
Yeah.
So, Abhilash, do you want us to go back and repeat something, or do you just mean that we should go slow going forward? Yeah, because I see a chat message. Cool. So, Mukul, we will go a little bit slow. Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry if I went through a bit fast. So we just created a folder called pages, in which we will add all our pages inside it. So we have mainly two pages: add page, sorry, add page and landing page. Yeah, and then we have created another folder called libs, and inside that we are creating a file page helper, which will help with all our usable methods. So right now I've created one reusable method, get web element, in which I'll pass the locator, and using this locator this function should return. Yeah, I will write this function should return me the web element. So over here since we are defining our our locators using this colon. So the main thing that we need to do is we need to split this locators using this colon and return the respective locator based on the first type. So just in case my type is CSS, if type is CSS, then it should return, okay, not here. So if type is CSS, it should return cy dot get. Since this is the way I get return of web element if I am using CSS. And if type is text, then it should return cy dot contains. So I'll show you in the cheat sheet where I'm coming from. If you'll go to cheat sheet, you can see where, yeah, there are two kind of selection commands. One is cy.get, select based on the HTML text, that is CSS. And next is cy.contains, and it selects based on the value with the closing and opening text. So cy.contains, you can say that it selects the web element based on the its text. So just like in Selenium, we have cy.get web element by text and contains text. So it's similar to that. Based on the text, it will select your web element. So the first thing that I need to do, that I will split my locator based on the colon. So I will mention let type is equal to locator dot split by colon, and I will take the 0th part of it. Let locator name is equal to locator dot split again via colon, and I will take the first part of it. So since, for example, I passed say text and say I passed say suppose I passed cancel. So my type will be text and my locator name will be cancel. So similarly, I can return my value. Now I will use a switch type case CSS return cy dot get locator name, and I will use break. Now in case of text, return cy dot contains locator name, and again I'll break. And in case of default, say for example you pass something by mistake, I'll throw in new exception. All right. Now I'll create one more function, click element. It will also has locator, and what I'll do, since we are using click too much times, so I'll just do one thing. I'll just call internally. I'll call this function only get web element using locator, and then I'll click. All right, let's now use our landing page. So over here we just need to get the web element. We'll pass locators dot add button, and we'll just click on it. So let's directly use click web element. Also you need to you export this function using module.exports. Module.exports is equal to get web element and click element. So in JavaScript, you have to explicitly export your functions, and then you have to use this exported functions over here. So you can use const actions is equal to require. Again, you have to give the location slash libs slash page helper. So whenever you have to use these functions, you have to use actions dot click element. And since we will be using this function in our main class, where, where we have our test case, again we have to export this. Tool.exports is equal to click add button. Similarly, we'll create a function over here function, and let's say name it as add a computer. And we have to take inputs from user, computer name, comma, introduced, comma, company. Yeah, I think this much only. Name, date, company. Again, we will const actions is equal to require So the first thing that we are doing is that we are entering data over here. We are entering name over here. So actions dot get web element locators dot computer name, and we have to type inside it, and we will pass computer name, which will be passing from our main test case. Then again date actions dot get web element locators dot introduced dot type, and we will type the date. The third thing we are doing is we are selecting a category. So actions dot get web element locators dot company, and we are selecting the company. After that, we are clicking on this create this computer. So we can directly use actions dot click element locators dot create, and then we need to verify the message. So actions dot get web element. Then you have to locators dot message. You can put assertion only over here, include dot text comma done, and on. So yeah, now you have to just pass one thing instead of all this data, all this code. I'll just comment it out for reference purpose later if needed. So instead of all this, we need to just pass one thing, one message. Again, I am calling this the page class in my test data. So for that, I will use for landing page. I will use the name as landing page is equal to require pages slash pages slash क्या नाम है landing page. And for the add page, I will use add page is equal to require pages / add page. So for add a computer, I'll pass it from here. Landing page dot there is something missing. Yeah. So I'll pass landing page dot click add button. And then add page dot add a computer. So let's see this much code runs or not. I'll open my terminal. Something is problematic.
Landing page file name. I think it's now
Okay.
in the computer TP.
Okay. Thanks. Okay, let's run it once again.
And also in this 17th line, we also need to add .js, right? The 17th line.
Yeah, actually, yes, we can do that. Something is again missing.
I think that the brace needs to be
Oh,
line
yeah,
number 25.
yeah, thank you.
And
Thanks,
I guess
everyone.
you have to remove the 26 one. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, everyone. Sorry for so many mistakes. So yeah, now let me run it. All right. So I didn't pass the test data. So I'll use computer data dot name, computer name, then computer data dot date, and then computer data dot mm, company. Yeah, so it should work now. So yeah, my test is running fine. So due to crunch of time, I think we have already exceeded the time. I'm not parameterizing this. So you can start with hands-on of just one test case now.
Or Mukul, we are just thinking if because anyways we are going to push this code to Git. We are also going to
Yeah.
share slide shares and as well as upload the video. Can we just move to the
Yeah.
another topic? And I also wanted to know from participants, is it okay to extend this by another 15 minutes? Maybe you can raise a hand so that we can just cover advanced topics due to interest of time. I see few of them raising hands. Yeah.
All right. So
Okay.
Devani, should
Yeah.
we go ahead or?
Yeah, so I guess I see few of the people have already raised hands. So let's just cover our advanced topic.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I'll quickly cover some advanced topics. So first is reporting using Mokasm. So till now we saw that we were working only, we were seeing only only this thing, that is the reporter generated by Cypress. So just in case you ran your code in CI/CD and you want to see the reporting, so for that I've just followed this awesome documentation by Cypress. So I've taken everything from here. So I can just send you over chat, so you can also go through it. So you just have to install all these dependencies, or you can say all these what we say packages. In the interest of time, I've already installed all these dependencies and packages, and then you have to add in this JSON in your config file, and then simply you have to run your test cases. So I've already done it. So in my package.json, these dev dependencies are already there, and Cypress.json, I've already done the configurations. So in over here, you can give the name of your folder where you want to see the results, save the results. If you will keep override true, it will override your previous file. So you can keep it false also. If you want HTML report, you can make it true. If you want JSON report also, you can make it true. If you want both, you can make both true. So in the interest of time, I won't be running the script, and I can directly show you that how the report is generated. So since I have kept both as true, so I am getting JSON report also, and I am getting HTML report also. And if you will
Sorry,
open it,
Mukul, I
Your
see a
sharing
blank
ended.
screen. Yeah.
Your sharing ended. Sorry.
oh sorry, somehow I think internet got flaky.
No problem.
You can see the screen now.
Yes, Mukul.
Yeah. So I think you saw till HTML true and JSON true, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you just expand the results folder, and just you have to make this as open in browser, and you can see the in your Chrome you can see the report. Next is CI/CD in Cypress. So for it, the Git repo that you will be getting, I have added all the steps that how to from scratch, that how to install Jenkins and how to run Jenkins. I'll quickly show you for your reference. In the if you will go to this repo will be shared with you. If you will go down, you will see the Jenkins folders, Jenkins setup. Since Jenkins sometimes take time to initiate, so that's why we have already done it. I've already done on my machine. So for a quick glance, I'll just show you how to install your Jenkins, how to up your Jenkins. I'll go to the location where I've installed my Jenkins. I have kept it in my documents and then Jenkins. I'll use the same command that I'll be sharing with you. Sorry, actually, I'm by a mistake, I'm pressing the stop share button again and again.
No problem.
Arey, actually, somehow sharing is stopping. You have to run just this command. Yeah. So I'm initiating jenkins.var and with HTTP port as 8080. Okay, some Java mismatch. Just give me a minute. My shell is in some other. I just changed the source of my shell. So yeah, my Jenkins has initiated. It has started Jenkins. Now I will quickly go to the local host 8080. So yeah, it's taking some time since I've stopped it. So yeah, my Jenkins has started. So you can just go to that README file and you can see how to do it. I'll quickly show you how to configure it. How I have configured it. I just went to build with parameters and I've created a script. So yeah, once you go to over here, you can check on this that this project is parameterized and you can name it as script and you can give choices that has headless, edge, Chrome or anything you have given. So we will be sharing this repo inside it. You can see in package.json you can see all these commands that what exactly it means. So you know how to. So we have already discussed how to run Cypress in headless mode and only Chrome, only Edge, and then it in headed mode. So that configuration only we have done over here. And then you can source code management. You can name it as Git, and you can just give the URL of the Git repository. And then in your build, you can give command as npm run, and this is the way we are parameterizing script. And since the name over here is script, so whenever you will run it, it will execute the respective command. For example, you have given npm run headless, so it will run npm run headless. You can say apply and save it over here. You can go to build with parameters and you can select any of the drop down value and you can build. So in interest of time, I will show you how it will look in case your test have passed. You will go down and it will show you this finished success, all specs have passed. And just in case any of your spec has failed due to some reasons, You will when you will scroll down, so see over here it's showing test file upload failed, and it will show you the error also, that what is the reason. So yeah, it's here it's showing that load was not taken. Next we can discuss API testing. So as we discussed in earlier that we can test APIs also. So in interest of time, I will quickly go to the API, my test of API. So I have given a link over here. If you will, sorry, not this API testing link over here. So if you'll go to API testing, you will see the request. This is the command by which we can do API testing. So it's very simple command, cy.request, and then you can pass the methods. So just in case your method is get, you can write get. You can give the URL of your API, and you can also pass the body. So I'll quickly so just in case you have not given any method, it's optional. It will by default it will take it as get, and then you have to write it this way, then function which will give you the response, and then you can verify that if case your response is 200, then only it will pass. And over here I have used, okay, oh, for the post I will show you in Postman what exactly we are doing. Sorry, it didn't copy.
How do you mention these authorization and headers in Cypress API testing?
Authorization, yeah, that can be configured. For that it will require little more code, but yeah, that can be done.
And does it also support the GraphQLs?
For GraphQLs, I haven't worked personally, so anyone who has worked, actually I will have to check. I haven't worked personally, but yeah, I believe it can be done.
Okay, no worries, thanks.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll select it as post. I'll mark the body raw JSON. I'll pass the body, and when I click on send, over here you see that in my response dot json dot name response body dot json dot name, I'm getting the name as Mukul. So whatever I'm passing over here, I'm passing at abc, I'm getting the same over here. So that's the validation I've done in this code. So if I'll run this code, it will pass for sure. I'll quickly show. It's taking time to load, sorry. So yeah, it's initiated. So yeah, all my specs passed. And if I'll put 500 over here and save, it will start failing. So I expected 200 but found 500. Similarly, if I'll make it 200 and I will pollute my test, it will again fail. So yeah, expected Mukul but found 11 Mukul. So, okay. Devyani, how much time do we have? I think we have already exceeded.
Yeah, so we are supposed to even take some questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shall we move to questions then? How much?
Yeah, because actually it will take some more time.
Maybe you
Okay.
can just talk about those promise handling.
Okay, yeah, let's discuss it theoretically only. So actually, so for example, in Java, how we used to do that, we used to write it this way: web element le is equal to some web element, say driver dot find element, and you can pass your locator. So if so, when I was starting with Cypress, I used to think that why can't we do it this way? And I tried sometime that I kept a variable const web element is equal to cy dot get this, and then I tried to extract it locator. So let's see what happens. So yeah, you are getting is not a function. So why you are getting this error? This is because you are mixing a synchronous and asynchronous code over here. So as you know, you always remember that uh, Cypress is asynchronous. Since it's based on top of Node.js, and Node.js, as you know, at its core is asynchronous. So that due to this, Cypress is also asynchronous. Whereas JavaScript at its core is synchronous. So over here you are mixing two things together. But have you noticed that being asynchronous also, Cypress runs very in synchronous manner only. This is because the Cypress people has taken all the load on them. They have created these wrappers in such a way that they run in a very synchronous manner. So let me show you. They have given a very beautiful example that Cypress commands don't do anything at the moment they are invoked. They enqueue themselves and to run later. So once your code starts executing, say cy.visit, so nothing happens at that moment. And then you are sending more code, nothing happens. But once it has finished executing, they queue all this, and Cypress will begin running them in order. So Cypress has taken all the load on them, and they have created the wrappers in such a way that these wrappers run in a synchronous manner. So just for example, you take this example only, and you have written a Java command over here. Say for a representation, let's take console.log only. So when Cypress will be executing this code, it will enqueue the Cypress commands only, but it won't enqueue this JavaScript command. Why? Because Cypress don't know anything about this command. So it will say that yeah, it can be executed. So at that moment only, it will start executing it. So this is the reason why it's not allowed. But just in case that there is some condition and you want to mix Cypress code as well as JavaScript code, then you will have to handle the promise. And how to handle the promise? You have to write then. So you will say that once this command executed, then you have to execute this command, which is written inside the scope of the function. Okay, I've given it at web element. So in this way, your code, your asynchronous code as well as your synchronous code will run in same fashion. And then you can also write cy.log text. Now, what we are doing? we got a asynchronous code, but we are saying that once you execute this command, then only you have to execute the command which is in scope. If you will execute this command, it will run. Sorry, I ran a different code, I think. Yeah, so it is passing now. So just one thing is remaining, but if you will go through the documentation, you will find everything about it, how to install, how to use, and the code we will be sharing with you. All right, so let's start with Q&A.
Yeah. So, due to interest of time, I will just take one or two questions, whatever I have with me. And for all of you, you can please write us your questions, and we should be replying you back. I guess you people have a mail ID. The question is: any default test run exporting we can see or export?
Sorry, could you please come come again with the question?
Yeah, so the question is, I will also paste this question. So whoever pasted can also tell us more about it. So is the question, any default test run reporting we can see or export?
Default run reporting, you can see or export. Yeah, actually, if I've understood the question rightly,
The question is actually, once we run the test case, do we see any default report or we can export something like that?
oh, all right, all right. No, no. Actually, if you will run your code in npx cypress open, that is open mode, then only you can see the reporting. But there is no default reporting in Cypress in headless mode. So you will have to take Mocasm report plugin only.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So maybe Mukul, we can wrap this up now. And as I called out, please do write us about the questions. We should be helping you out with the answers of it, as well as please give us feedback about the session. I'm again sharing the link with all of you. And let's take a picture together. I would like you all people to turn on your camera, and I really appreciate you people to giving us a chance and opportunity, and you also bared with us when we extended it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks a lot, people, for actually I took almost 28 minutes more. So thanks for bearing with me.
Yeah, so yeah, can you all please turn on the camera so that we will take a picture, please? Yeah, looks good.
Thank you so much for such a wonderful workshop.
Thank
Thanks a lot,
you.
Mukul. It was great.
Well, yeah.
Thanks everyone for your feedback.
Mukul, thank you so much.
Thanks, Akash.
Yeah, so I guess we took a picture. Yeah, thank you so much, people.
Thanks everyone. Thanks again.
Stop off then. Thank you.
Yeah.
Volunteer survey is staying for a minute just to.
Yes, we will stay back.
So we can stop the recording now.